Welcome to Protagonist Pub. My name is Tammy, and this is where characters gather. Well, apparently autumn has arrived in Texas. It was 80 something yesterday, and we woke up this morning to very low 40s with 40-mile an hour winds and a wind chill advisory. It's gonna last a couple of days, just enough to ruin Halloween for the kiddos, and then it'll be in the 70s and 50s at night. So fall has arrived, and it is exiting shortly. That being said, it will be not an unwelcome thing. Clear out some of the pollen. It's been driving me nuts the last couple of days, so we shall see. So, what did I read last week? I have a couple of soft DNFs and I have a hard DNF. So, let's do the hard DNF first. It's on my Kindle. It is Dogcatcher and the Rye by... who's it by? Ellen Riggs. And it's a cozy mystery. It's one of those ones I picked up on Stuff Your Kindle Day. And it was just... I DNF'd it in the first chapter. That first chapter was mean-spirited and icky and just unlikable. The protagonist was an unlikable, pretentious oof, and just wasn't going to read it. So I DNF'd it, and I'm good with that. Live and learn. I'm a big proponent of live and learn. Don't read what you don't love. So, okay, so soft DNFs. Let's do the little one first. That would be The Western Wind by Samantha Harvey. I don't hate it. It's also just not grabbing me, and it should. It's an appropriately atmospheric read for the weather right outside my window, but I am finding myself uninvested in it. I don't hate the writing. I don't hate the characters. I don't hate the story it's telling. I'm just not invested. So that's either it truly isn't working for me, or it isn't working for me right now. I will pick it up again at some point in the future and see if it works better. If it doesn't work in the future, then I will hard DNF it. But right now, it's just a soft DNF. The next soft DNF is Texas by James A. Michener. It isn't the writing, it isn't the stories, it isn't the storytelling. It's the disconnection between the episodes of history. There isn't a... other than they all take place in Texas and they're all about the formation of Texas, there isn't a thread that connects them through time enough. And I am not in the mood for consecutive novellas that are brief glimpses. And that's essentially what that is a series of novellas all strung together in the state of Texas. It's not a hard DNF by any stretch of the imagination. It's just a soft DNF for now. Okay, so those are the DNFs for the week. I did read 2 books this week. The last book I completed, I'm going to talk about first. That is Trial and Error by Robert Whitlow. This was a pickup from the Friends of the Library. And I enjoyed this book, but a good portion of it fell utterly flat for me, and I didn't think needed to be in the story. So it tells a story of this lawyer named Buddy Smith, who as a teenager gets his girlfriend pregnant. She absconds with the baby shortly after birth, like within days. And he spends the next 17 years searching for her. He has his life together. He's never given up. So, you know, he's an empathetic guy, and you sympathize with him. And he has a law practice that he helps other people recover their kids. So he's a decent human being. And the story revolves around him helping others in his small town in Georgia, and him trying to get in touch and find his 17-year-old daughter. What fell flat for me, and it was beautifully written, and was the faith element. I found it unrelatable. This is going to sound very weird, but it was it's the kind of Protestantism I can't relate to. The showy, it wasn't like Karen Kingsbury bad for me by any means. It didn't make me DNF the book. I read the whole thing, and it wasn't the faith part was bad. It was just the showy part, and I don't know how to describe it better. It wasn't preachy. It was just, I guess as a Catholic, we are much more quiet in our faith. And this was a very showy kind of thing. The story itself was great, and if you cut the faith element out, it still would have been a great story. So take that for what it's worth. This is one of those, it was great without, and you may find it great with kind of situations. So the last book of the week was Labyrinth of Scions and Sorcery by Craddock. This is book 2 in the Risen Kingdom trilogy, and was another slow burn. It was just a great fantasy story. I will say there is some language in this one, but it's situationally appropriate, so it didn't bother me at all. Again, slow burn, lots of loss in this book, lots of self-discovery, and, you know, doing the right thing when it is going to negatively impact you. This series so far has just blown me away. And I am very much looking forward to the last book in the series, which is Uncharted Sky. And I am definitely reading it in November because I want that series complete. It is fantastic. I cannot say it enough. It is still very much hopeful fantasy. There's adventure, there's political intrigue, there's personal growth, there's loss, there's just, it was fantastic. Okay, so what am I currently reading? I am currently reading The Seven Sisters by Lucinda Riley. This is book 1 in the Seven Sisters series. I am on chapter 2, chapter 3. And chapter 4. I will love this book, unless something goes drastically wrong. So far, I'm enjoying it. I'm just been in a weird kind of reading mood, so not a reflection of the book. It's good. I will read it this week and see what happens. So that is what I read this week. What did you read this week? Leave a comment down below, like and subscribe, and I will see you here next time at the Protagonist Pub.